things about Charlie's murder was the way that some people in this country reacted to it.
Yeah.
And not just online. This was an idea that you encountered a lot. And the idea was this: they kind of justified it. They basically said that because Charlie said or believed things that they believed were controversial or even hate.
Guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the investigation that they apparently did not want us to have. Before we even get started today, and I mean we are really going to get into this today, I need you to smash that subscribe button. Turn on the bell, because the level of disinformation I just uncovered is unlike anything I have ever seen. If you thought the last video was heavy, you haven't seen anything yet. We are talking about Erika Kirk today. For years, we have been sold a narrative, a fairy tale, the sheltered life, the dating hiatus, the innocent girly girl who sat in a tower waiting for Charlie to come along. Well, guess what? I opened the archives. I dug through the digital receipts. And that narrative? It is gone. It is systematically dismantled. Let's start with the Peach Bowl. You remember the spin, right? You remember the story. Oh, Erika was just taking pictures with fans. It was a female fan. She is so nice to the public. That is false. My research confirms, 100% confirms, that Erika Kirk was photographed at the Peach Bowl with an unidentified male companion. Not a female fan. A male. And the way the supportive accounts tried to spin this was desperate. But here is the kicker. I managed to track down eyewitness testimony from that very event. People who were there. People who saw them with their own eyes. And they didn't describe a fan asking for a selfie. I spoke to people who told me, and I am quoting the sentiment here, that the vibes were not fan and celebrity. The vibes were intimate. They were leaning in. They were laughing. The body language was inconsistent with a professional or platonic relationship. That is what the people on the ground saw. So why lie? Why tell us it was a female fan? Because they knew what was coming. And this is where it gets dark, guys. This is where we get into the coordinated disinformation tactic. I found something that blew my mind. Before the real photos could even gain traction, pro-Erika accounts started circulating a deepfake. A fake image of Erika with a man wearing an I Love CK shirt. Think about that strategy for a second. It is genius in a twisted way. They release a fake photo that looks ridiculous, right? So that when the real photo of the mystery man surfaces, everyone screams that it is fake. They scream that it is just another deepfake. Remember the shirt? It is called pre-bunking. They tried to poison the well so you wouldn't believe your own eyes. They wanted to discredit the legitimacy of the real photos before you even saw them. But I saw them. And I saw through the tactic. They panicked. When they knew the Peach Bowl pics were going to drop, they had to flood the zone. Put out the fake stuff. Make everything look like a troll job. That way, nobody takes the real guy seriously. It is classic damage control. And speaking of damage control, let's talk about Andrew Calvert, the spokesperson. The guy who is supposed to clear things up. I did a timeline analysis of his statements, and guys, it is a mess of deliberate misdirection. There was a specific allegation about Erika's whereabouts on September 8. A very specific claim. And what does Calvert do? He shares a photo to prove she was home. See? She is right here. Except I checked the metadata. I checked the dates. The photo he shared was dated September 9th. He answered a question about the 8th with proof from the 9th. Do they think we are stupid? Do they think we cannot read a calendar? That is a pattern of misdirection. It is not a mistake. It is a strategy. But why go to all this trouble? Why the deepfakes? Why the timeline tricks? Because the pre-Charlie era, the era of the so-called dating hiatus, it never existed. My archival work, and I have spent hundreds of hours on this, has uncovered digital receipts that definitively place Erika in romantic relationships during that claimed 5-year hiatus in New York. We are talking about surviving social media comments, things they forgot to delete, things they thought were buried in the Wayback Machine. I found them, and I verified names. We aren't just saying mystery men anymore. I've verified specific ex-boyfriends. Let's name names. Josh Harrellson, the basketball player. I found the Twitter interactions. I found the back and forth. You don't talk like that to a buddy. Joe Anglim, from Survivor. Yeah, that Joe. I found photos. I found videos. These aren't ghosts. These are real people. Real relationship. So how does that square with the narrative? How does that square with the girly girl persona who was too shy to date? It doesn't. My findings directly contradict that entire persona. I found evidence of her actively partying at elite clubs. I found evidence of her handling firearms. Does that sound like the sheltered, innocent narrative they have been feeding us? I spoke to sources who knew her back then. They laughed. They said, sheltered? Erika? Please. We were at the clubs. We were out. She wasn't sitting at home knitting. She was in the mix. She knew exactly what she was doing. The girly girl thing? That is a rebrand. That is for the cameras. A rebrand. That is the word. A clear pattern emerges from my investigation, guys. Erika's narrative of a sheltered life before Charlie is systematically dismantled by verifiable evidence of an active social and romantic history. I assess that the repeated contradictions, the Peach Bowl lie, the Colvett date switch, the dating hiatus myth, suggest a strategic effort to control a specific public image. They want you to see the innocent wife. They don't want you to see the reality. But the core question, the question that keeps me up at night, is motive. Why? Why construct a falsifiable narrative of isolation? Why say I didn't date for 5 years when you know the internet exists? When you know Josh Harrelson exists? When you know the digital footprint is forever? Why lie about something so easily checkable? Is it just about image? Or is it about something else? Is it because the truth doesn't fit the brand? I am telling you, the more I dig, the more I realize we aren't looking at a person. We are looking at a product. And the product is starting to crack. I am going to keep digging. I am going to keep pulling these threads. Because if they lied about the Peach Bowl, and they lied about the deepfake, and they lied about the hiatus, what else are they lying about? Stay tuned. Stay vigilant. And do not let them spin you. I want to dive deeper into this Peach Bowl situation because I feel like people are glossing over the significance of the eyewitness account. When I say intimate vibes, I need you to understand what that means in the context of a public appearance. We are talking about body language that signals familiarity. You do not lean into a stranger like that. You do not share that kind of laughed, whispered conversation with someone you just met 5 seconds ago for a selfie. And the fact that my source, who has no dog in this fight, who simply bought a ticket to a game, noticed it immediately tells you everything you need to know. It stood out. It was conspicuous. And that is why the cover-up had to be so aggressive. If it was just a friend, they would have said it was a friend. If it was a cousin, they would have said it was a cousin. But they went with female fan. Why? Because a female fan is safe. A female fan fits the brand. A female fan doesn't raise questions about why a married woman is looking so comfortable with another man. It was a calculated lie designed to shut down inquiry before it could even start. But they forgot that people have eyes. They forgot that people talk. And they forgot that nothing stays hidden forever. And then we have to look at the sophistication of the deepfake operation. I really want to harp on this because it is rare to see this level of coordination. This wasn't just some random troll making a meme. This was circulated by accounts that specifically defend Erika. Accounts that have a history of attacking anyone who questions the narrative. They push this fake image out there with a purpose. It is a counterintelligence tactic. It is something you see in spy novels. You create a false flag so that the real flag looks fake. They knew the real photos were damning. They knew the real photos showed a connection that they couldn't explain away. So they tried to make the entire concept of photos seem ridiculous. It is gaslighting on an industrial scale. And Andrew Colvett, I have to go back to him because the timeline discrepancy is not just a slip of the finger. When you are in crisis management, and make no mistake, they are in crisis management, you check every single detail. You check the time, the date, the background, the lighting. You do not accidentally post a photo from September 9th to prove an alibi for September 8th unless you have absolutely nothing else to use. That error exposes the desperation. It shows that they are scrambling. They are trying to plug holes in a sinking ship with whatever they can find, even if the dates don't match. It tells me that the allegation about September 8th was true. It tells me she wasn't where she said she was, and they had to fabricate a reality to cover it up. Now, let's really get into the hiatus because this is the emotional core of the deception. The entire brand is built on this idea of purity and waiting. The idea that she was this sleeping beauty in the big city. But when you look at the names, Josh Harrellson and Joe Anglim, you see a pattern. These are high-status men. These are men with followings. These are men in the public eye. A sheltered, shy girl doesn't accidentally stumble into relationships with NBA players and reality stars. That takes effort. That takes being in specific social circles. That takes being at the clubs, exactly where my sources place her. The club photos, the evidence of her handling firearms, it paints a picture of a woman who was confident, capable, and very much a part of the scene. And there is nothing wrong with that woman. I want to be clear. That woman sounds fun. That woman sounds real. But that woman is not the woman they are selling us. They killed that woman. They buried her history. They erased her digital footprint. And they replaced her with this caricature of a housewife. And that is what offends me. It is not the dating. It is the lying about the dating. It is the calculated decision to treat the audience like we are fools who will believe anything. They think if they just say she is a girly girl enough times, we will forget the receipt. They think if they just say she was on a hiatus enough times, we will ignore the tweet. But the internet is written in ink, guys. You can delete a tweet, but you cannot delete a screenshot. You can scrub a profile, but you cannot scrub the memories of the people who were there. And the people who were there are starting to talk. My inbox is open. And let me tell you, the stories I am hearing match the data. They match the receipts. The shy girl narrative is dead. It is over. So why keep lying? Why double down? Why not just pivot? I think they are trapped. I think they built this house of cards so high that they are terrified to pull out even one single card. If they admit the hiatus was fake, then maybe people start asking about the timeline of the relationship with Charlie. If they admit the Peach Bowl mystery man was real, then maybe people start asking about the state of the marriage. It is a domino effect. They have to lie about the small things to protect the big things. And that is why they are panicking. That is why we are seeing deepfakes. That is why we are seeing timeline manipulation. But we are not going to stop. We are going to keep pulling the cards. We are going to keep shining the light. Because the truth matters. Reality matters. You cannot build a legacy on a foundation of lies and expect it to stand. It is already crumbling. I can see the cracks. You can see the cracks. And soon, the whole world is going to see the cracks. I need you to share this. I need you to get this video out to everyone who has been following this saga. Because they need to know that they are not crazy. They need to know that the things they are noticing, the inconsistencies, the weird explanations, they are real. They are part of a pattern that we have identified and a pattern that we are exposing. This is not a hate campaign. This is a truth campaign. We just want the truth. If the truth is messy, fine. We can handle messy. But don't serve us a fake cake and tell us it is real. Don't tell us it is a female fan when it is a man. Don't tell us it is September 8th when it is September 9th. Don't tell us she didn't date when she was with an NBA player. Treat us with respect. And until they do, until they come clean, we are going to be right here. We are going to be watching. We are going to be recording. And we are going to be reporting. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are part of this team. Because the next update is going to be even bigger. I have files I am still verifying. I have leads I am still chasing. And when I am ready to drop that information, you are going to want to be the first to know. This investigation is entering an actionable new phase. The momentum is on our side. The tailwind is pushing us forward. And the wall of silence is coming down. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about the truth. I will see you in the comments section. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. And let's get ready for what is coming next. Because trust me, you do not want to miss it. This is just the beginning. The Erika Kirk deception is unraveling, and we are holding the thread. Stay safe, stay smart, and stay tuned.